Hey guys, this is Mr. Teen Tutor here, and today we're going to be talking about the average rate of change. Now what that is you're attempting to find the slope between 2 points on an exponential function. This is our exponential function in this case, so let's come down to this graph right here. So here's our exponential function, and in order to find the slope between 2 points on this function, we're trying to use a secant line. And the secant line equation is y equals, well, we don't know what that is. We're going to solve for that. So these 2 points right here, this is just an example. We're trying to find the slope between these 2 points. Now, the slope at this point is very different from the slope at this point. And this is called basically this is called like instantaneous average rate of change. This is like instantaneous. You're trying to find the slope between these 2 points at a particular moment between certain x values. So let's come up here. So first we're going to try to find the average rate of change from 1 to x. Okay, so for those of you who don't know it, this is the average rate of change formula. That's it right there. Now, let's plug in some values. Here's a key for you guys. Make sure that before you substitute in any values that you write out the full equation or model that you're going to use, because if you were to make a mistake in here at any point, you could refer back to this model and see where you went wrong. Alright, so now let's substitute in our values. So you have x cubed minus x, and put parentheses around all your terms because there may be a sign change or there may not be, but to stay on the safe side, just put parentheses around it. And then f of c. C represents a number. In this case, it's 1. So in this case, we're substituting 1 for x. So this is 1 cubed minus 1 over x minus 1. So now, I don't know, isn't that a cool division sign, guys? Isn't that cool? Anyway, just kidding. Now you need to simplify this. And this is this is 0. And this is over x minus 1, so this drops out. So now let's come down here. We have x cubed minus x over x minus 1. Now you may think that we're done, but we're not. We can simplify this. You can factor out an x here. But the truth is, guys, we're still not done. But don't worry, Mr. Teen Tutor here is here to make it all work out. So this here is a difference of 2 squares. So because of that, this is x plus 1 times the quantity x minus 1 over x minus 1. Now, if you're not sure if this equals x or minus 1, use FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. So x squared minus x plus x minus 1. It all works out. And because the numerator is bounded by multiplication, and this is bounded by multiplication as well, 1, obviously, I can cancel out these 2 terms. I can cross them out. Now, if both numerator and denominator, or one of them, wasn't connected by multiplication, then you cannot do this. But because that's not the case, we can do this. So the average rate of change, guys, from 1 to x turns out to be x times the quantity x plus 1 or x squared plus x. Either answer works. Now, let's go to part B. So now it says to find the average rate of change from 1 to 2. Now you may think that you had to go back through this process again where you have to do f of 1 minus f of 2 over 1 minus 2, and then you may think you will mess up. But don't worry about that because you just found the average rate of change from 1 to x, which is this. So now you're trying to find it from 1 to 2. So in other words, x equals 2 in part B. So you're going to substitute in 2 for x to find the average rate of change from 1 to 2. So let's see what that comes out to be. So we have 2 times the quantity 2 plus 1. And this is 2 times 3, which equals 6. So this number not only represents the average rate of change from 1 to 2, but it represents the slope of our secant line. This is important to remember, guys. This represents the slope of our secant line. Now, our last part is to find that equation. So I just told you what the slope is. So we're going to use point slope form. This is point slope form. Again, I'm writing out the model or equation I'm going to use. So m is 6. But now we need a point. Well, we substituted in 1 in part A. And when we substituted in 1 here, we got 0. So 1, 0 is a point on the secant line. So now let's substitute in some values. So we have 1 minus 0 equaling 6 times the quantity x minus 1. Now some of your teachers may like you to leave your answers in point slope form. So that would be the answer. But then there are some who would like it in slope intercept. And slope intercept would be this equaling 6x minus 6. All I did was use the distributive property here. So this is point slope. And this is slope intercept form. So there you go. Those are your two secant line equations. So now you can get rid of this question mark and you can put in 6x minus 6. So that is your secant line. Alright, so I hope Mr. Teen Tutor has helped you out here. And if you have any questions about the average rate of change, please write something on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.